This is the door to my bedroom. Now every time I come back from school, I need to remember to unlock it, and every time I leave, remember to lock it. Now remembering to lock and unlock this door every time is a bit of a chore. So we're going to see what we can do to make some sort of contraption so that the door unlocks and locks automatically, hopefully over Wi-Fi. And when we pair it up with a sensor, we can probably even make it so that it locks whenever I'm not at home. Now the limitation with this project is that I cannot actually modify this key mechanism in any way, shape, or form because this is a shared housing and I'm basically renting to live in this place. And if I take out this lock and replace it with a smart lock, they're going to take away my deposit and kick me out, which is bad because I've never slept at a subway station before. We're going to try and get around this limitation by working from the inside. So this is the inside of the door, and as you can see, there's a single deadbolt that locks and unlocks the door. Now what I was thinking was putting some sort of mechanism on top so that a servo turns this lock based on the commands that I give over Wi-Fi. That way we don't have to modify any part of this lock and still have it mechanized so that it can be automatically locked and unlocked even when I'm not at home. So with this plastic piece hooked up to the servo, the plan is to basically put it here and have it turn the lock without it turning on as well. All right, time to test out this connector piece that I just printed out. Now, in retrospect, what I should have done is go out and get a pair of calipers to double check my dimensions. But because I didn't do that, most of the connector pieces ended up not fitting. You can see I nailed down the lock dimensions by the blue piece, but then I had to go match the servo horn size, which took another couple of iterations. So this went on for quite some time, and in this split up clip you can actually see me try out one of the designs that I ended up not using because it was too bulky to fit on the door. I ended up tweaking the design a lot, which took quite some time because I was juggling college coursework on top of all this. This entire project actually took me more than a semester to finish, which is why there's a huge time gap between the first shot that you saw in this video and the final output. So this project picked up the pace after I came back from winter break because I managed to bring my calipers back with me, which allowed me to get some proper measurements of the lock dimensions so I could finally design a proper enclosure around it. So this is a clip of me using FreeCAD. Quick warning for epilepsy viewers, it's going to flash a lot, and that's just a bug with FreeCAD. I'm not sure exactly what it's doing. Alright, this project took way too long, and if a project is taking way too long and you just can't seem to finish, you might have some scope creep, and that's exactly what I ran into. So my initial plan was to power this entire contraption with some sort of battery so that it would stay active even if we had a power outage. But then I decided that that was a really stupid idea for two reasons. Number one, you can still get in without any power using the key. And number two, if the power is out, the Wi-Fi is probably going to be out. And this thing operates over Wi-Fi, so it doesn't really make sense to keep this on during a power outage. So that took a lot of the complexity away from the project because that meant I didn't have to worry about 18650 cells potentially blowing up and setting the house on fire. And that meant I could just simplify everything down to this little C-type charger right over there plugged into the wall. Second of all, I didn't realize that the servo that I used was actually an absolute servo. So basically you can tell the servo the position that you want it to be in and it'll rotate to that spot every single time. So that meant that the little notches that I cut out over here and here for the limit switches were worthless. But at least we have the absolute positioning working. Now, if I bring up the app over here, here we go, here's the bedroom lock, and if I turn it on, as you can see, the door has locked. And once I turn it off, and there we go, it has unlocked again. And this is me manually unlocking the door on the other side with the key just to make sure that it'll work even when the power's out. Alright, so that's the project working. So I'll have all the design files for the enclosure and this little gear thing and the holder for the servo all up on GitHub. It'll be linked down in the description. And also the code I used in the ESP home thing for the D1 Mini will also be up in the repository. So I recommend checking out the repository if you want to attempt this yourself. Alright, so that's it for this video and I'll catch you in the next one.